Hi everyone, I'm Shinkai and I'm with Blue Cliff Zen Center. Please subscribe to our channel to help us spread the word. So I wanted to talk a little bit about two aspects of practice today. You can think about temple practice and then also mountain practice. So this sense of like when you're at a temple or a monastery or like a center, an ashram, there's a lot of structure there to the daily schedule, typically, at least at a Zen temple. So when I was practicing in Japan, we always knew where we needed to be. Like this is when we were doing seated meditation. This is when we were working in the fields. This is when we were chanting. This is when we were eating. So it's like you always knew there was a good container often in terms of like your day and what you were going to be up to. And that's different from like mountain practice or forest practice, solitary practice, where you're essentially um, on your own. You're on a mountain, you're in a forest, you're out in the wilderness, and you're setting your own clock. You're eating when you're hungry, you're sleeping when you're tired, you're practicing according to essentially what intuition and what feels right for you. So there's a spontaneous quality to the solitary mountain practice when you're off on your own. Um, and one of the things that we did in our last Japan trip, sesshin, is we had 2 days. The first 2 days of the sesshin, we were in the dojo, in the center, doing our sesshin according to our schedule, getting up at 4:30, going to sleep at 9. Whatever the schedule was, we were right there on it. So the first 2 days were like that, and the last 2 days were like that. It was a 5-day sesshin. And then the day in the middle, we actually went to a mountain nearby, and our teacher, uh, he had passed away 5 years ago. So it was like a memorial day for him where we could spend some time on that mountain, do a little bit of chanting for him, and then everybody just spread out and did their own practice that day on the mountain. So it was interesting how we had 2 days of the structure, and then 1 day of the spontaneity, and then 2 more days to finish out the sesshin. So that quality, again, um, it's nice to have both of those in your practice in some way. Maybe the spontaneous aspect looks like going out to a river for a day and just being there by the river and doing some sitting, doing some walking, having this intention to practice, but kind of seeing what happens. There's a lot of openness there. And also having like this structure, doing maybe retreats with different communities, um, doing sesshin. Even your daily practice has a quality of, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do 30 minutes of sitting practice every morning at 6 a.m. Something like that. That's like a monastery or a temple style of practice there. There's the structure. So balancing out the structure and also the openness or the spontaneity. Zen Master Shinzan, our teacher on our Rinzai Zen side, he was very big on what he called yaza practice, night sitting. So after the day, or after even the sesshin day, when the formal schedule finished, say 9 o'clock or 9:30 or whenever that was, he used to talk about you want to go out and do night sitting. That might just be on the veranda of the temple there, just sitting out there on your own. It might even be just in the zendo, in the meditation hall. But often it might be going out into the mountains and sitting and being in the mountains and practicing there. And he used to talk about how that was the best practice. At night, there's that quality of openness. There's not structure where people are telling you what you should do. There isn't that pressure about, oh, I need to, the rigidity can kind of fall away. And also, it's at the end of the day, you're tired. Maybe your mind isn't as strong and in the foreground. So it's a wonderful way to practice there at a sesshin or just in general. Night sitting, just practicing at night. So these aspects of practice, it's nice to have a balance, to have the structure in different ways, and also having the openness, the spontaneity, um, really kind of blending the two, and things can really unfold nicely when these aspects are in the mix.